The greatest battle, conquering ourselves. We all grow older. Our hair turns gray, our faces get lines, and our bodies slow down. Age is something that happens to us naturally. But there is another kind of growth that is not automatic. This is the growth of our inner self, our character. And sadly, many people reach the end of their lives without ever winning the most important battle, the battle against their own worst instincts. Look around and you will see people, young and old, who are constantly troubled by their own inner demons. What are these demons? They are things like arrogance, the constant need to feel superior to others. They are quick anger and holding on to grudges. They are the habit of gossiping, of trying to make someone else look small just to feel a little bigger themselves. It is the desperate need to win every argument, to always have the last word, and to prove that they are the bigger person by making others feel small. At the heart of all these problems are three little words: I, me, and myself. For some people, their entire world revolves around this self. They are always thinking, I am this important person. How dare you disrespect me? That is my opinion. This is mine. This inflated sense of self is like a cage. It traps them in a small world where their own feelings and ego are the only things that matter. They spend their lives protecting this fragile idea of themselves, and they never feel truly at peace. You might wonder, why is this such a big mistake? It is because these negative traits are like poison. They first poison the person who holds them. Living with constant anger and jealousy is a heavy burden. It steals your joy and peace of mind. Then this poison spills over and hurts the people around them, their family, friends, and colleagues. No one enjoys being near someone who is always putting others down, who gets angry easily, or who must always be the center of attention. The real work of life, the real journey of growing up, is not about collecting money, awards, or status. It is about working on this inner world. It is about noticing when you feel that surge of jealousy and choosing not to act on it. It is about stopping a piece of gossip before it leaves your lips. It is about listening in an argument instead of just waiting for your turn to talk. It is about valuing your relationships more than your pride. This is what it means to conquer yourself. It is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming aware. It is a quiet daily effort to be a little kinder, a little more patient, and a little less selfish than you were the day before. To grow old without ever trying to master yourself is the real tragedy. A person can be 80 years old but still have the emotional maturity of a teenager, controlled by their anger and ego. On the other hand, a young person who works on their inner self can have the wisdom and peace of a sage. So, as we move through life, let us remember that the most significant victory we can ever achieve is not over others, but over the negative voices within us. Winning this inner battle is what truly allows us to grow old with grace, peace, and the respect of those who love us. The myth of automatic growth. You've made a very important point. Many of us believe in a kind of magic that happens with age. We think that as the years pass, people automatically become wiser, calmer, and more mature. We assume that gray hair means a person has mastered their inner demons and no longer gets bothered by jealousy, anger, or the need to prove themselves. But this is one of the biggest myths about life. Growing older is not the same as growing up. Think of it like a garden. If you simply let a garden be for 30 years, it doesn't automatically become a beautiful, organized place full of healthy flowers. Instead, it becomes overgrown with weeds. The weeds of pride, bad habits, and stubbornness grow stronger and deeper if they are never pulled out. An older person who has never worked on their anger doesn't become a gentle sage. They often just become a more entrenched, bitter version of their younger self.
Time alone does not build character. It only reveals it. If a person never makes a deliberate effort to change, time just solidifies who they already are. A young person who gossips and loves drama will become an old person who gossips and loves drama. A young person who is easily offended and arrogant will become an old person who is easily offended and arrogant. The patterns simply become more habitual, more a part of their core personality. This is why the deliberate effort you mentioned is so important. Self-mastery is a skill, like learning to play the piano or speak a new language. You don't wake up one day at age 60, suddenly knowing how to play Beethoven. You have to practice day after day for years. It's the same with our inner world, controlling your temper, choosing kindness over gossip, and letting go of a grudge. These all require conscious practice. Realizing this is both a responsibility and a great hope. It is a responsibility because it means we cannot be lazy and expect time to fix our flaws, but it is a hope because it means we are in control. At any age, we can decide to start weeding our own garden. We can choose to work on ourselves today so that when we are old, we are not just older, we are truly, deeply better.
The real victory, conquering yourself. In life, people grow old, hair turns white, skin grows wrinkled, body becomes weak, and years pass by quickly. But one truth remains, age does not always bring wisdom. Many people reach the last stage of their life without mastering the most important victory, the victory over themselves. They may win money, power, respect, even titles, but deep down they never win the battle inside their own heart. What does it mean to conquer yourself? It means to rise above the small weaknesses that live within us. Arrogance, jealousy, gossip, anger, greed, and the need to always prove ourselves bigger than others. These inner enemies are silent, but they are more dangerous than any outside enemy because they stay with us all our life unless we face them. Think about arrogance. Some people never learn to walk with humility. They carry pride as if the world must bow to them. They measure respect only in terms of how others treat me, instead of asking, how am I treating others? This hunger for superiority is endless. The truth is, no matter how rich, strong, or powerful you become, someone will always be above you. So if you tie your worth to being the biggest one, you will always feel restless and incomplete. Then there is anger. Many old people, even after decades of living, still lose control over their temper. They shout, they break relationships, they hurt the very people who love them. They never realize that real strength is not raising your voice, but calming it. You can conquer a city, but if you cannot conquer your anger, you are still a slave. Jealousy is another chain. Some people look at others and cannot accept their success. Instead of clapping for them, they start gossiping, pulling them down, or making excuses to feel better about themselves. This shows insecurity, not strength. A person who has conquered himself knows how to celebrate others without feeling small. There is also the constant need to win arguments. You must have seen people who cannot let go, who must always have the last word. For them, proving themselves right is more important than peace. They forget that even if you win the argument, you may lose the relationship. A wise person understands that silence can be more powerful than winning. Sometimes walking away is the real victory. At the root of all this lies the ego, the obsession with I, me, myself. People spend years protecting their ego. How dare you disrespect me? Do you know who I am? That is mine. I did this. I deserve that. But in the end, this I is the biggest prison. The more you feed it, the more it demands. A life ruled by ego is never free, no matter how successful it looks from outside. The saddest part is that many people never even try to conquer themselves. They spend their whole life trying to control the outer world, but they ignore their inner world. They polish their house, their career, their name, but leave their heart full of dust. Then they wonder why peace never stays with them. Real growth is not about adding years to your age, but about reducing the weight of your ego, anger, and jealousy. Real success is not just earning wealth, but learning self-control, compassion, and humility. The person who can look in the mirror and say, I am at peace with myself, is far greater than the person who can show a bank balance or a golden crown. In the end, life is short. The world will forget your arguments, your pride, your titles. But what will stay is the way you treated others, the way you carried yourself, and the peace you created inside your own soul. To conquer yourself is the greatest victory any human can achieve, because once you master your inner world, no outside storm can defeat you. So, do not wait until you grow old to start this journey. Begin today. Watch your anger. Tame your ego. Celebrate others. Choose peace over arguments. Work on your inner world because at the end of the road, the only crown that matters is the crown of self-mastery. Self-mastery is not automatic. Many people believe that as we grow old, we naturally become wiser and calmer. They think time itself will make us mature, that with age we will automatically stop being arrogant, jealous, angry, or ego-driven. But the truth is different. Age alone does not bring mastery over yourself. Years may add to your life, but they do not erase your inner struggles unless you deliberately work on them. Think about it. If someone never tries to control their anger when young, why would that anger magically disappear when they turn 60? If a person has lived their whole life gossiping, proving themselves right, and feeding their ego, why would old age suddenly remove those habits? In fact, the opposite often happens. Those habits become stronger because they were practiced for years. Self-mastery is not a gift of time. It is the result of conscious effort. It requires attention, practice, and awareness. You have to face your weaknesses again and again and choose differently each time. For example, when anger rises, you must learn to breathe and pause. When jealousy appears, you must remind yourself to be grateful and content. When ego shouts, me, you must practice humility. Without this deliberate training, nothing changes. It is like fitness. If you sit all your life without exercise, you will not suddenly become healthy at 70 just because time has passed. You have to practice, sweat, and discipline your body. In the same way, you must train your inner world, otherwise your age may increase, but your spirit will remain weak. This is why we see many old people still trapped in anger, arrogance, and ego. They had enough time, but they never used it for self-work. And then there are young people who, even at 20 or 30, show great maturity, kindness, and balance because they chose to work on themselves early. The message is clear. Self-mastery is not automatic. It does not come with birthdays or white hair. It comes only with awareness, with the courage to look inside, and with the discipline to change. If you want peace and wisdom, you must start building it, not wait for time to give it to you. So, do not sit back hoping life will make you wise. Begin now. Choose growth today, because the real victory will not come with age, it will come with effort.